This is an incredible story that will give you chills, making you question everything you thought you knew about faith and miracles. It's a tale that not only involves a female police officer, but also an extraordinary event that changes her life forever. Have you ever wondered what truly happens when someone who harbors deep-seated hatred for a group of people is confronted with a situation that challenges their beliefs? This is the journey of that very officer, and I can assure you it's one that will leave you in awe. Imagine this: a police officer who has built her entire career around her disdain for Muslims. She couldn't bear to see them and went to great lengths to express her prejudice. Whenever she arrested a Muslim, she would wash her hands multiple times, believing she had somehow been tainted by their presence. This deep-rooted animosity was not something that came overnight. It was a belief instilled in her from a young age. Her parents often cautioned her to steer clear of Muslims, warning her of the dangers they posed, painting them with a broad brush of hatred and fear. But what happens when fate intervenes in the most unexpected ways? The story takes us to India, specifically to Jaipur in Rajasthan, where this remarkable incident unfolded. One day, this Hindu police officer found herself in a situation that would challenge everything she believed. During her routine duties, she arrested a man on charges of theft. Little did she know that this man would leave a profound impact on her life. He was not just any criminal, he was a noble and virtuous individual, someone who stood in stark contrast to her prejudiced views. As she processed the arrest, this man handed her a piece of the Holy Quran. He told her that if she ever faced any illness or difficulty, she should recite these words over water and give it to the affected person. At first, she scoffed at the idea. How could a mere piece of paper hold any power? Yet deep down, something compelled her to keep it. She reluctantly tucked it away in her cabinet, dismissing it as nonsense. Days turned into weeks, and a series of events began to unfold that would test her resolve. One fateful day, her young son was bitten by a deadly snake. The panic that ensued was unimaginable. She rushed him to the hospital where doctors delivered the grim news. The venom had spread too far, and there was little hope for survival. Her heart shattered at the thought of losing her child, and in that moment of despair, she remembered the words the arrested man had spoken. He had claimed that reciting a particular verse could heal, that it held the power to save lives. In that desperate moment, she hesitated but knew she had nothing to lose. She retrieved the piece of paper, trembling as she recalled the words. As she recited the verse over her son's wound, she poured every ounce of her faith into it. Her husband, who was praying to idols, looked on in disbelief. Would this actually work? Would her son be saved by something she had once deemed meaningless? The seconds felt like hours as she repeated the words, her heart racing with fear and hope. And then, a miracle unfolded before their eyes. Her son began to regain strength, standing as if he had never been bitten at all. It was a moment of sheer disbelief, filled with both joy and confusion. How could this happen? Was it the words she had recited, or was it merely a coincidence? Her husband rushed to her side, panic etched on his face, demanding to know what she had done. She simply replied, "There's a verse that cures every illness. I recited it and gave it to our son, and look, he's perfectly fine." Instead of celebrating their son's miraculous recovery, her husband became enraged. He had always held disdain for anything related to Islam, and her actions only fueled his anger. He couldn't understand how his wife could embrace something she had once rejected. "If I hear you mention that verse again, I swear I will lose my temper," he shouted, casting a shadow over their moment of relief. The miracle she witnessed began to challenge not just her beliefs, but also the dynamics of her marriage. As her husband wrestled with his emotions, the very snake that had bitten their son appeared again, leading to the demise of the man who had previously mocked her faith. The officer, once so steadfast in her hatred, began to see the world through a different lens. It was as if the universe was presenting her with undeniable signs. She eventually left her police job, feeling a growing desire to learn more about the teachings of Islam and what they truly meant. But life was not easy. Struggling with her newfound faith, she faced immense challenges. She took over her husband's business, but without any prior experience, she watched as their empire crumbled within a year. Their factory was shut down, and their home was auctioned off, leaving her feeling lost and defeated. Yet through all of this, She never lost her connection to Surah Al-Fatiha, the very verse that had saved her son. It became her lifeline, a source of strength and hope in her darkest days. Desperate for help, she began to recite Surah Al-Fatiha day and night, believing that perhaps it could restore the blessings in her life. She poured her heart into her prayers, thinking that if she just had enough faith, Allah would answer her cries for help. Friends, this is a lesson for all of us. When we face trials and tribulations, it is our faith that can pull us through the darkest times. Within a week, she received unexpected news. Her husband's friend, who had been living in America and was also his business partner, returned to offer his support. "Don't worry, I'm here to help," he said. "You can count on me to get through this. I will ensure all your troubles are resolved." With his guidance and experience, they managed to revive her husband's business, bringing it back to life. It was as if a wave of hope washed over her, reminding her of the power of community and support. One day, while she was reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, her husband's friend commented on her dedication. "You seem to find comfort in these verses," he observed. "Why don't you embrace Islam fully? If this one verse has brought you such peace and healing, imagine what the entire Quran could do." His words struck a chord within her, echoing in her mind long after their conversation ended. Finally, after much contemplation, she took the brave step to embrace Islam fully, reciting the Shahada. This decision not only transformed her life but also led her husband's friend to embark on his own spiritual journey. After months of studying the Quran, he too accepted Islam, leading to a beautiful union between the two. Their marriage blossomed in a new light of faith, happiness, and understanding, a testament to the transformative power of belief. The verse she had been reciting, Surah Al-Fatiha, became not just a chapter in the Quran, but a symbol of her rebirth in the new life she had chosen. Friends, the virtues of Surah Al-Fatiha are countless and profound. It is said that this surah is a direct line of communication between the servant and Allah, bridging the gap between their hearts. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized its importance, stating that it was essential for prayer and healing. In conclusion, this story teaches us that no matter how deeply ingrained our beliefs may be, a single moment can change everything. It reminds us to keep our hearts open, to question our prejudices, and to embrace the journey of faith. Sometimes, the greatest miracles come when we least expect them. So, as we wrap up today's video, remember that faith can heal wounds you never knew you had. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. We hope to see you again soon. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones, and may Allah guide you on your path.